In my professional opinion, that don't look straight.
That one ain't straight. Hey guys, before we get too far into this video, I just want to let you know that we have a new t-shirt design available for pre-order. It's up on our website now. You guys can pre-order it, which means it's guaranteed to get it in your size when it comes in. It'll be a few weeks before we get it in for delivery, but you guys can go ahead and grab it now. I want to thank you guys for the support of the channel. A lot of people ask, how can we help? What can we do? This is what you can do right here. If 10% of people that watch this video order this shirt, we can take our racing program to the next level. So get your Damn It Feels Good to Be a G-Body shirt on pre-order now. What's going on, guys? We're back in the shop today working on a 74 Nova. We got my brother out here. Big Ed Nick in the house. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, people?
Big Ed Nick back in the house. He's gonna learn about replacing a rod today because we did bend one of the rods, so he helped me get the motor out. We're just going to swap out the one rod that's bent. I did manage to pick one up locally, and some other folks have reached out and said that they used the address in the comment below, the description below, to send me some replacement rods, so we'll have some spares too. I know last time I left you guys kind of hanging on what are we going to do, how are we going to do everything. Well, I sat down, I budgeted, I thought, I planned, I did everything I could, and I might have a little idea together for us. So if everything works out like it's supposed to and all goes well and I get a little lucky and everything, we can talk about that a little later on. But for right now, we gotta get this thing fixed back in there with the new converter, so hopefully we can take it out this weekend. There's a race coming up this weekend on the backside, and I'd really like to go. Only problem is we don't have a working race car. So let's get this back together. I don't know that I'm the best teacher, and mine are all blown up. But we can put them together and take them apart, and put them together and take them apart again. If all the bolts are loose. Almost. All it takes is like one thread, and then it don't come up.
I'm not tripping. Oh, because I totally
missed it. The one you, yeah, you gotta get all the bolts, and it'll come out. Bam. Yeah. You're gonna need the extension for one of them at least, probably like this one or this one. No. All right, so maybe I don't know as much as I thought I did.
Well,
I'm not an expert. It would be a lot easier. See. I'm spending years of my life that I'm just transferring over to you in experience to make life easier. Bro, why you got more tattoos than me?
I don't know, man. What the?
Well, they're torqued down, they're torqued to spec.
I just don't want to punch something in my hand.
There you go. Alright, now I'm going to go to push it the rest of the way out. You got to be ready to catch it. This is where it helps to have a friend. What's the final verdict there?
In my professional opinion, that don't look straight.
That one ain't straight. That one hurt. Oh, and the oil in there that you didn't think about. It's all good.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, but how's the bearing look? Look at that. Oh, don't look like we smushed it. Looks like some normal wear, a little abnormal wear, like there was some stuff in the oil, but crank looks okay. We're gonna clean her up and send her, bud. Well, not with this one. Is it? Probably not. So, as much as I would just love to throw our new piston in, piston and rod combo, I think that's a 6.2 piston or a 6.0. It's a lot larger than the 5.3. So Nick's gonna get to work on popping these clips out. We can do this with Gen 4 pistons because they're not pressed in. They just got clip retainers in them. We can slide them out. And important to note, because I guess if I'm teaching him and I'm teaching you guys at the same time, if you don't already know, there's a dimple on these. If you'll notice, the dimple is going towards the rear of the engine. the dimple on the piston towards the front of the engine. He's gonna work on that, and I'll probably work on this other one. We'll meet in the middle somewhere and get this done. Is she coming?
Nope.
Try the other direction.
There it goes.
There she comes. That should be good. Pull it out. There we go. We got one rod. That's the piston we need. Right? So that has got to be, that dimple's got to be towards the front. So this dimple's got to be towards the back. So
dimple that on this one.
it's on the side of the rod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's got to go in just like that. Go ahead, put it in there.
So we got these clip things here. No idea what they're called.
The retaining clips.
Retaining clips. So we got the rod in, you know, looking nice and dandy, nice and straight now.
So the retaining clips hold back the wrist pin. That's what those are called, the wrist pins. We'll throw some bearings in it, pop back in the motor. Show you how to do that. Alright, so set it in place like it's gonna go, right? Now obviously it's not gonna go in there. You need your compressor. So loosen that up. There's a little relief. Hold on. Grab it around and then hit that relief. No. It's like spring loaded. When you grab that relief, it's going to try to come completely apart. Yeah, just hold it. See what I'm saying? Hold it till it gets wide enough to fit around everything. Okay. Now, you want to make sure all that's nice and flush. You use this tool to tighten it up. We're going to turn the crank to get the crank away from that hole, so when you knock it in, you got less of a chance of hitting it. Let me do that. Okay, so it's perfectly forward like the other ones are. Alright, so you're going to take the back side, the handle of that rubber mallet, and you're going to give it a nice good pop in there.
One good pop?
Yep, one good pop. A little too crazy, but it's in there. Bam. Let's flip her over. Go ahead and grab that rod, pull it up into place there. You can push on the other side if you need a little help, but just make sure it's lined up because you don't want to ding the crank up. She's going in. Go ahead, when you tighten them, alternate back and forth. Like, don't just tighten one side all the way. You know what I mean? This one is like the super fancy type torque wrench, so it's going to do a couple things, right? It's going to light up the side yellow and then green. When you get to the torque that it's set at, it's also going to vibrate and beep. So go ahead and start turning it. We're going to make one pass at this. Huh?
The screen went off.
Alright, if the screen went off, then it's off. So that ain't helping us. Dang it. There you go. Yeah, sometimes the batteries are a little funky in there. Bam, see? Now hit the other one. Now we're gonna up it. Now hit them both. Bam. Now that one had ARP rod bolts in it for whatever reason, so we're using ARP's torque spec on that. Hopefully that holds up. Well, we still got a little pressure building up, obviously. We got one head on, one head off. But we have got one new rod in there, so it's time to get this thing reassembled. We get this thing all the way reassembled. Then we can work on swapping out the converter, which I'll teach you about, because really key stuff there. Get it back together. It wasn't bad. It didn't take a lot of time. Gotta clean it all up, put it back together again. Getting her done. How much you giving her now?
50 foot-pounds of torque.
Alright, so these torque in sequence at a 25, 50, then 75. Oh, the batteries might be dead in it. I don't know. Keep shutting off. Yeah, I'll have to check if we got some more batteries. But more importantly, the batteries, I gotta get back to this grill. Shout out Nick, out here helping. He's gonna learn some stuff. She's gonna come in handy at some point. We'll see what that point is. All right, well, we got the motor just about buttoned up, ready to go. But I wanted to show Nick how to swap a converter. Have you ever put a torque converter in?
No.
All right, so I'll tell you the important parts once we get there. First important part, when you pull that one out, it's gonna leak everywhere. Yeah. So let me get you a drain pan up under there. Like, it's not even like when you pull it all the way out, like it's gonna start leaking as soon as you get past the seal.
Oh, I'm cramping, brother. Oh, fuck.
Working on cars is fun. Yep. See? Bam. You can set that down right there. Alright, now, notice this converter has got cutouts on the snout here, right?
Yep.
So inside of that trans, you're gonna have to look where the input shaft is. You'll see two tangs. So what's gonna happen is when you line it up, the first thing you want to try to do is line it up so those two tangs go in when you slide the converter in. So go ahead and take a flashlight and look, try to see if you can locate the two tangs, so that way you know where to put the other one in. Alright, so you're gonna want to try to line them tangs up.
Should they be moving like that?
You can push it in, it's fine. That's a power glide, they come out. Alright. You're not done yet. So it's got to go in like certain depths. Now what I like to do is ever so slightly, right? So I like to pull it out and push it in as I rotate.
Okay.
So grab it, like you want to pull out like maybe 1/4 of an inch and rotate. Little rotations, because what you'll feel is eventually you'll feel it sink in even further, unless you somehow got lucky and got it all the way in on the first shot. But I don't think so. Nobody's that lucky, not in this garage. Keep going, it might take a while. And the important thing is, like I said, so if you don't do this, if it doesn't go all the way in, you'll think it's in, but it's not all the way in. And what'll happen is it'll ruin the pump immediately on the trans, and then your trans will be worthless. So super important to get it right. Alright, so I just crawled in there to double check, and by some miracle it's like perfectly lined up that when you sink it in, it goes all the way in. At least I think so, because it's in there pretty deep. And yeah, so he got lucky, but he didn't get to feel what I was talking about with the multiple. You guys know what I'm talking about, where it drops in multiple times. For some reason, this one was just lined up, floop, and it went straight in. So converter's in. It's a little bit looser converter. I think it's going to help us out, especially with like some of this backside stuff that we're about to do this weekend. So it's time for me to get the rest of this motor wrapped up. He's got to get home. He's been working all day, and he came over to help out. And I don't know. Maybe if I can work through the night and I'm feeling all right, everything works out, I'll get this thing in there, hopefully back together. Maybe we can take testing tomorrow.
I'm down.
All right, let's shoot for that. All right, so finished up a couple things on the motor, and we've got it jacked up and getting ready to go back in the hole. Ooh, I wish my brother was here for this one. Make it a little bit easier, but I do gotta say, it's been nice to have my brother around. He's been coming by the last couple days, just trying to help out. He knows I haven't been feeling the best, and he said he wants to learn some stuff. He's been working on his own car a little bit, and he's kind of like, wish I knew a little bit more. So we're gonna see what we can do to teach him up with some stuff. But we got this bad boy hanging. I'm gonna put the camera down, see if we can't get it in place. Hopefully it goes pretty smooth, but you never tell with these things. After many hours of struggle, we've got it in place, mostly into place. I do need to wiggle a little bit to get this other side motor mount bolt in. but that's not a big deal. I also figured out that this side, you probably can't see, but some dummy, being me, remember this for next time, where I mounted the tab for my engine limiter, my little engine limiter that I had put in, it's kind of in the way of the bolt. Not 100%, but it's kind of in the way of the bolt. So we ended up having to put that one in through backwards. Usually, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe there's no rational thought about it. I like putting my motor mount bolts in this way with the nut on the backside. So even if they, for some reason, come loose, wiggle out, whatever, the motor mount bolt is not gonna fall out forward. It could fall out backwards. I mean, it'd be really hard. There's a lot of weight and stuff on there, but it's just something that I've always done. I always like putting it in that way instead of the other way, but not a big deal. We'll get a nut on that, tighten it up, make sure it's good. But I've got it mated to the trans. I still gotta do all the bolts, everything. I just got this thing in place. I mean, as many times as motors have been in and out of this car, you would think they would just fall into place, and sometimes they do. Sometimes you gotta fight for it. So I'm ready for a pro mod that's just like, oh, whole front end comes off, and you know, a couple bolts, everything comes out of the way, boom, 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 nice and easy. But we still got one of those old school, real deal cars, so that's what we got to work with. I think I'm gonna call it a night for tonight. You know, not as far as I would like to be, you know, with a chance of possibly trying to go test tomorrow. And I know I got some doctor's appointments coming up, so I really need to be tested tomorrow if I can, but you know, we'll just keep doing what we can and working with what we got. So hopefully tomorrow I can come out here and get this thing finished up and fired up. We have new converter. I need to put new fluid in the trans. I dropped the oil, so we need new oil, new filter. So we're gonna get all new fluids, hot shots. You guys know the deal. Fire it back up, try it again. All right, so we're back out here today, and I got the motor set in place. We got a couple bell housing bolts in, the motor mount bolts all the way through. Everything's good there. So it's just gonna be time to finally reassemble. But before we get started on that, I got some packages today. And normally I don't get all wild and stuff about, you know, getting packages, but I really wanted to shout this one out. This one is from my man Eric and Jenny, and they sent us a set of rods and pistons so we can have some spares, and they sent us some spark plug wires because they knew we were having issues. Obviously the spark plug wire is what led us down this road. What I think is way cooler than any of that is the handwritten note. Don't ask me why. Maybe because, you know, I'm old enough to like remember when handwritten letters were a thing. Nobody does this anymore. It's all text and email and all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to let Eric and Jenny know, hey guys, I really appreciated you guys sending this stuff out. You didn't have to do that, but even more than that, I appreciate the note. And they say that anytime we go down to Memphis, we got a barbecue waiting on us, so I can't wait to get down there, and I'll see you guys when we come down to Memphis. Thank you guys very much. Really appreciate it. I just wanted to include a little bit of that in today's video because, like I said, the note to me means more than any of the stuff or anything else. But we do have, what's really cool is some new plug wires, and they've got the factory style heat shield around where the plug goes in. So I did order a set. I ordered a set of, you know, make your own plug wires where they can be like really long, and we can just kind of trim and put the ends on we need and everything. So I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do until those came in, but now we've got these, and we'll go ahead and try these and see if they work out in our configuration. Worst case, if they don't, a few of them will, and if I've got to replace one or two by making our own custom length ones, we'll be good to go. So my brother's back. We've got, I don't know, a few hours worth of work to try to go to get this thing fired up again, so let's get back to it. I went to the bathroom. Now I've come out to what can only be described as something bad about to happen. What are you
Working
doing?
on my own car.
What are you doing?
I'm replacing my dog bone mount.
Where is that?
It's underneath behind the oil pan, and it's connected to the pendulum mount, which keeps the transmission nice and stiff. Mine is going very bad and makes a lot of clunking and clanking, so.
You know why?
Because it's a turd.
Because it's a Volkswagen. Alright, let's see if we can get Nick knocked out real quick and then get back. It's missing a bolt. Maybe that's why it's not working.
It's still hot as shit too.
Oh, no wonder it's moving, bud. You ain't got no damn bolt in there. So do you have to replace the mounter, or you just gotta put a damn bolt in?
Well, so I'm replacing this. It's not really replacing, but it's like a spacer almost. This slides up in there to keep it nice and stiff, and then it also comes with replacement bolts. But I can see that this pendulum mount was already aftermarket.
Some jerk has been in it before you. It used to be me. I used to think these cars were cool.
They are.
And I was the jerk. And then I grew up. Grow up, Nick.
They're awesome.
Grow up, Peter Pan. Under a damn Volkswagen again. I feel like I'm 22, except I'm not 22 anymore. And my body don't feel like that. Have you watched a YouTube video on this?
Yes.
So you have a half a clue what you're doing?
Yeah.
Well, that came out a lot easier than I thought it was going to. First I gotta bring tools, now I gotta bring the grease. Goodness, it helps having a cool older brother that's been in the cars for a while to save the day. Now I know what he feels like when I ask him to bring me tools. How are you that dirty already?
Because I'm a working
And like you've taken 2 bolts out.
This car is covered in oil underneath.
It's leaking horsepower. I would say it's leaking horsepower, but it ain't got none. I'm not even gonna say nothing. XR Racing. Alright, well, Nick's still working on the Volkswagen there. I helped him figure out what's actually wrong so he can go order the parts he actually needs to replace. Instead of just throwing random parts at it. But while he's getting that back together, I'm gonna get back to work on the Nova so we can get this thing fired up. Alright, although we're not where I wanted to be at this point in the day, but that's just because I couldn't get enough done last night. We got the motor back in place, bell housing bolts are in, torque converter bolts are in, starter is in, a lot of things are in. We're to the point now where I think everything underneath is done, or at least I hope so, because we just took it off the jack stands. Now we can get everything from the top. So I'm gonna get Nick to get started on getting some of this gasket maker material off the header so we can put new on, and then we can get that header in place and start letting that gasket maker set up. And then we'll start bolting on accessories and intake and everything, and a lot of stuff like the fuel lines and some of the sensors in the back and all that stuff is really a pain in the butt. But it's just because when I did it, you know, there wasn't really a great way to do it, and I didn't cut a bunch of new holes into the body and everything. Just old factory race car stuff that we're dealing with. We'll start getting this together. I'm gonna jump on the grill, cooking some food. Like, it doesn't look like a lot. In theory, we could be, you know, a couple hours from firing up. So let's get back to it. You're on fuel leak detection. So I'm gonna kick this fuel pump on. Let me know if it's leaking anywhere. That's not the fuel pump. That's the fuel pump. Before we get any further into this, I want to make sure, because sometimes if I don't have the injectors seated right, you know, that kind of stuff. Tell me nothing's leaking. Everything's working from the start.
I don't see any liquid.
I don't see any leaks, and we should damn sure smell ethanol.
I don't smell anything.
Yeah, no, it's... What? First time connecting it, not a single leak?
Yep.
What? Oh, you say, oh, hold up. I mean, it's under some pretty good pressure. So, it's under 40 PSI. It'd be pretty obvious, I would think, but I feel it returning. Yeah, she's coming back. Fuel, good. This means we can get it the rest of the way together and fire her up. We still got to do fluids, oil filter. Obviously, I got to finish all the wiring, hooking up all the injectors and plug wires and all that. I just wanted to make sure before I did that, that the the fuel system wasn't leaking, because, you know, this thing is not very neat and nice. So stuff kind of has to go over stuff, under stuff, everything. Well, we'll get it working. Kick my battery on. Oh, I forgot the door doesn't open. Oh, I'm too tired to be crawling in and out of this damn thing. It's just a fan. Back. I gotta put the limiter back on. I'm sure there's a couple things we gotta check out, but old girl is back. Back like crap. Ready to act. Taking a nap. Doing tired. Oh. So now that we got it back together again, we gotta take it testing and then take it racing. The only problem, the same problem it always is, the rain. It's supposed to rain this weekend, so I don't know. We'll have to see. I do want to see too what's up with the turbo kit, where my charge pipe seems to be a little off. I did move it, but you gotta do a little more adjusting to get that a little bit better. But it's back together, so thank you guys. Thank you for everybody that helped. Oh, a great relief has been lifted off my shoulders. Now that we got this thing running again. I do want to check over a couple things. I'll see if I've got another set of plugs. We'll do some new plugs maybe, all that kind of stuff. The fuel is probably, the fuel's a little old at this point, so we might have to drain it out, get some new stuff in there. I think it should be alright though. A lot better. So what's burning over there? Is it just... Woo! It's coming off of them heat shields, them heat sleeves. I put the new plug wires in on this side, but I still put the heat sleeve over it. I could try to zip tie them in this way to get them you know, a little bit better, but oh well. Well, it wasn't sounding right, and I wasn't sure what it was. So I swapped out one of the ignition coils, just one that I saw the temperature was a little bit off than the rest of them. Swapped that out, fired it up, kind of cleared it out, and now it's idling fine again, running fine again. Made 10 pounds of boost on the brake right there. The thing is, we've got the other converter in, so it did seem a little easier. It seemed like it just came right up on the rev limiter and then just started building boost. So I'm gonna have to go in to the settings and kind of adjust that. Now that we've got the other converter in there, I could probably still get it to spool a little bit faster by dumping the timing out a little bit earlier, since it wants to come up on the chip so easily. I gotta figure out something about them plug wires, man. Now, we gotta wait for it to cool down. I'll take it all apart, make sure we didn't melt the wire. I don't think we did. I think it's just the heat shielding stuff. But we don't want to have an issue like we just had and have to replace the rod again. Now we got extras. So we got that going for us.
We know we can do it really quick.
We know we can. Well, now that you've done it, you pretty much did start to finish on this for the most part. So now you know what needs to come apart. Like now it
Big end Nick for hire.
big end Nick. You don't want them problems, trust me.
No, I don't.
If we ever do have to do it again, it would be a little easier now that you've done it once. You'll remember like, oh, we gotta take this off, and then, you know, me having to say like, oh, do this and this and this. You'll be like, oh, I already know. We gotta take this off. We gotta do this. Boom, 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 boom. And then that's when you really get in the zone. When you get two people that like both know what got to be done, and you just start doing it, you're done in no time. That's gonna be it for now, guys. Make sure you guys tune in for the next video where we're gonna take this thing out. We're gonna go test it. We're gonna see what it can do now with its new rod. Also, don't forget that our new shirt is available for pre-order now on the website. It's gonna be in the description below. So make sure you guys click that link and go ahead and grab it. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for everything. I got a lot of great people. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Up here lately, I've been thinking, and I'm like, man, how are we gonna do this? Because honestly, small tire is just so crazy nowadays. It's wild. I mean, you need a 4-second car, and you know, I don't have the knowledge, the experience, the parts, the money, the everything to just drop into a 4-second car. It makes me think like, oh, what am I gonna do? You know, I'm not gonna be able to reach my goals, and I'm not going to be competitive like I want, blah, blah, blah. But like just like today, getting the letter in the mail, it makes me realize that it doesn't matter. Just keep going, just keep trucking, because there's a lot of good people out there that watch these videos, and a lot of awesome people that, you know, want to see me do what I can, even if it isn't going to be the fastest of the fast or be the most competitive ever. We just got to keep pushing forward. So thank you guys. I will catch you guys next time, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Big N Nick won't be in the next video. You're going to go do young guy stuff. But tune into the next video where I figured out what was wrong with this Volkswagen, so I ordered all the parts to fix it. So we're going to actually fix the Volkswagen.
I tried.
It's literally like I'm living through my early 20s all over again. Like I got into that car and I'm like, this is the shit that I did. Good news is now I'm old enough to know how to fix it.
I knew how to fix it. I just didn't know it was that messed up.
No.
Yes.
You didn't know that there was completely missing a bushing in there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get Nick's car fixed. We'll get this done. We'll ride around in a Regal. Ah. I did not get to show them any of the future plans thing, but you guys will see that. It's coming up. I'll catch you guys next time.